104.5, the team joined by Ian Begley of ESPN New York. He is our Knicks guru. All right, Beggs, just a little while ago, we're talking about this Knicks team as the most improved, looking good, shot at the 8th spot. Now Fisher's out, and it just feels like we're back to zero hope. What the heck happened?
Wow. Well, the last 2 weeks happened. This team lost 9 of 10. They weren't competitive early in games. They couldn't hold leads late in games, and then you combine the recent struggles with a little bit of the off-court stuff that Derek Fisher was involved in earlier this year, and I guess Phil Jackson felt like he had to make a change to try to, A, keep things from spiraling out of control this year, and B, to move things along long-term, because it wasn't working for Derek Fisher, and Phil made the call yesterday, and here we are today.
So, in your eyes, Beggs, is this a good fire, getting rid of Fisher?
Yeah, I thought it was going to happen at some point. The timing is curious to me because I thought Phil would give Derek a chance to play with a full deck, so to speak, to coach a team that was fully healthy. You look at the last 2 weeks, Carmelo was hurt with a knee injury. And when he did play, he was limited. And they had other nicks and bruises. They weren't fully healthy. So, there were some reasons, injury reasons, why they struggled. I thought Phil would give Derek at least the All-Star break, give the players a chance to rest up, get healthy, and see how it goes after the break. Clearly, Phil felt differently. So I'm not surprised that it happened, but the timing is a bit surprising.
Ian Begley of ESPN New York joins us on 104.5 The Team. Some of the names circling out there of the long-term replacement, Tom Thibodeau, Luke Walton. Anything you're hearing about the next Knicks full-time coach?
Luke Walton and Brian Shaw are names that make sense because of their knowledge of the triangle offense, their connection to Phil Jackson. I'd be surprised if Phil went outside of, the guys he knows, the guys who can run the offense, because it seems like he's committed to running the offense. But if he were to go outside the realm, maybe he goes after Tom Thibodeau, who has no connection to Phil, hasn't had a history of running the triangle offense, but would be a damn good coach and a great hire. So I think it just remains to be seen if Phil is comfortable kind of expanding his view outside of the limited number of coaches who are considered triangle experts.
Ian, it's been said that some people have a strong belief that Phil returns back to the Lakers at some point. Your thoughts on that? Any truth to that?
Well, I haven't heard anything one way or the other, but it wouldn't surprise me because his fiance Jeannie Buss is out there. He has a history with that organization, and quite frankly, he's complained about the New York winters, and he likes it out there in sunny LA. So you look at those factors, it shouldn't surprise you if it does happen. But I can't say that I've heard anything one way or the other on a potential return to LA for Phil.
Ian Begley joins us from ESPN New York. Beggs, I saw speculation that if Phil did leave, Isaiah Thomas could possibly be back in charge of the Knicks. That please tell me that's not even remotely possible.
Don't rule it out. Do not rule it out, man, because listen, Isaiah and Jim Dolan have a relationship. Now, Isaiah and Jim aren't really in direct communication on the Knicks on a regular basis these days. Jim kind of lets Phil do his thing and handle the Knick operations, but I can imagine that Dolan not being so pleased with how things have played out so far because he's paid Phil $60 million. He's paid Derek Fisher upwards of $20 million, and he hasn't gotten good results. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was a little upset, a little down on where things are with Phil. And if Phil leaves, Isaiah becomes one of the top names to replace Phil to run this organization.
We've heard the Knicks are out there looking to make moves. Jeff Teague is a guy we hear maybe in connection to them. Can they get him?
They don't have a lot of pieces to offer on the trade market. They probably need a third team to get involved to make something happen. And, it seems like other teams would have better packages to offer Atlanta at this point if you're talking about a two-team trade. But if New York can get a third team involved, like, say, a Boston that has a ton of assets to play with, then maybe they make something happen. Phil has a couple of days here to figure something out with the February 18th deadline approaching. So he does want to make a move, but he may be limited by what he can offer here.
We're joined by Ian Begley. Follow him on Twitter at Ian Begley. And one of the other names that's starting to circulate for 2017, Russell Westbrook is interested in the Knicks.
I mean, it's 2 years away, so I think every free agent has a certain level of interest in New York. I know, Adrian Wojnarowski of Yahoo reported. I would never doubt what he's writing. He knows what he's writing. He's always plugged in. So I'm not going to doubt it. I just think that, it's 2 years away. So much can happen between now and 2017. So let's just kind of wait and see there to see how things, first of all, play out with Kevin Durant. And let's see how that may impact Russell Westbrook. But it doesn't surprise me that Russell would be interested and would be thinking about New York in 2017.
Ian Begley from ESPN New York. He covers the Knicks for ESPN.com. Follow him on Twitter at Ian Begley. Beggs, hopefully the next time we talk, we're back to the old conversation of, hey, look, the Knicks are fun to watch again.
Yeah, well, maybe call me in a year. I'm sure we'll talk later this year, and maybe Kurt will get these guys headed in the right direction. Maybe he'll get them playing a little defense, and hey, maybe they can get back into a legitimate race for that 8th seed in the East. We'll see what happens. It all starts tonight against the Wizards. Welcome to the Kurt Rambis era.
Oh, man, welcome to the Kurt Rambis era. I did not think I'd ever hear you say that. Thanks, Beggs. Thanks for the time, man.
Thanks, boys. Take care.